so good, especially if you're a Swamp Fan thing from the comics. Very, very good adaptation.
I just wanted to touch back on what Onaris was saying. He does do voiceovers for video games and for cartoons. I just looked it up.
Nice.
He's in Mass Effect.
Oh, okay.
I know. Now I know.
And he also does stuff for Bob's Burger.
Mass Effect, huh? What a random thing to voice for.
Yeah.
That's like, oh no, I just do voiceovers for Elder Scrolls. No big deal, you know.
Right. That guy's cool. I seen him on SNL. He's fucking funny, dude.
You should watch Silicon Valley. He's like off to here, like in different stuff.
I've also seen him on Conan.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
Touche, sir. Touche. All right. So the movie focus of the week this week is my pick. It's The Babysitter from 2017. It's a horror comedy. It's 1 hour and 25 minutes. It's got a 71 on Rotten. It's directed by Mick G. Written by Brian Duffield. Starring Samara Weaving, Judah Lewis, King Bach, Anna Mai Lee, Robbie Amell, Bella Thorne, and Emily Alyn Lind. For the synopsis, I wrote, Cole's parents leave him with his longtime babysitter, B, for an evening. Upon discovering B's sinister plot, Cole is forced to face off against his babysitter and her loyal Colt. Brian Duffield's script was first purchased by director McGee and his studio in 2014. Then in 2015, New Line Cinema actually acquired the rights for the film with McGee in the director's chair. After production had concluded, the film's rights were then passed on to Netflix in 2016, where Netflix then released the film in October of 2017. The highly debated film has plenty of cheeky horror and pop culture references to go around, a hybrid contemporary piece that seems equal parts coming-of-age flick with a batshit crazy Home Alone structure. The Babysitter has lots of fun in its exploitive attitude, but does it really need a sequel? And how do you guys think a sequel would play out now that its kid stars have had sufficient growth spurts? Thank you.
Nice.
Beautiful. Very, very well played. Very well played. So let's see.
I think I saw the cast for the sequel. I think Samara's not in it, right?
Yeah, that's a big thing. It doesn't.
Bella's in it.
It's like a big spoiler because all the people that died are come back. So they've obviously been summoned back somehow. I don't know if they're keeping Samara's attachment under wraps, which would be a very smart move, and I hope that's what they're doing.
Already?
What?
I'm just saying they're building for like a Babysitter 3. If you think about it.
Hopefully Samara's in it, because I think that if the sequel is going to fall flat, because I feel like, in my opinion, I think that she carries the film.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
very much so. It's a good watch because of her charisma. You know what I mean? And she's not even she's the villain, and she's not. You wouldn't say she's per se so scary, but I feel like her performance and her her confidence is it radiates, and I feel like it fucking, I don't know, it's just so charming, the whole pop culture stuff and how she's so knowledgeable about all these things. It's just damn, that's crazy, do women like this, I hope they exist. In a certain way.
Dream.
So speaking of pop culture, what would you guys notice out of the movie that you saw? We talk about Home Alone. What else did you guys see in there?
I'd have to say it was. First off, it was very self-aware that it was a fucking horror comedy. But I like the fact that they referenced a lot of 80s and 90s stuff in there. They referenced Seven. They referenced Friday the 13th.
Alien.
Alien, it's very cool to see that type of stuff, and the music in there too was really awesome for a 2019 film. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely them doing like a throwback to a the 80s style, like the simplicity of the slashers from the 80s. That's very much what this is, right? It's not trying to be overly complex. It's very to the point. Although there's hidden Easter eggs and stuff, the story is very like minimalist, and you get what you get.
Yeah,
I like it. I can see this film. Yeah, I can see this film being played at a drive-in for sure.
Yeah. Like a grindy, like satire, right? Like a grindhouse, something you would see at a grindhouse.
Yes, very much. So, Wes, what made you want to pick this film for this specific episode in this point in time?
Well, from everything that I've read from critics and then people who I know have seen it, it's always been a very divisive film where there's no real middle ground. You either love it and you respect it for what they did, or you absolutely hate it and you think it's fucking this like because you can argue that the way that it's shot is very like the editing and stuff is kind of weird, like YouTube generation at some points.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know a lot of people were annoyed that I talked to, friends of mine that I talked to about that. That's why they were turned off from it. So it seems like there's no real middle ground, whether you either love this or you think it's complete garbage. So I thought it would be interesting, like an interesting platform to talk about this one and see what you guys thought of it.
Yeah, I like it, dude. I thought it was a really good one.
The thing with this movie was like, if you think like a realist, you're not gonna like this movie. But like, I think that's why like it clicks back to those old '80s like horror movies where like it doesn't have to be perfect.
You throw logic out the window, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because when I first saw this film, I was like, "Fuck!" I didn't really like it. But then I took away the realism because I watched like I said, VHS 2 or things like that, and like I was like, if I take away the realism, it's a fun movie. It made me laugh. It's a good ride, dude.
You can't take it too serious.
Yeah.
Go in there ready for a good time, not to try to, look through everything and look for the Easter eggs.
Yeah, I do like the formula that they use for this film. Mm-hmm. And it gives you a very nostalgic, like we're talking about, feel to it. And I think the director played that really well. And it's made for a core specific audience. And I think he made it, and he pays homage to all of those films. And they're all really great films and you see it in the movie. But that's what makes the movie so good as well. Seeing it for the first time and seeing and watching it for what it is. It has a lot of kind of like when stuff pops up on the screen, like when they're texting each other, or like when something comes on the screen where it says like "pocket knife bitches." You know what I'm saying?
Or like
it was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the mod, like the Zombieland, or like Scott Pilgrim.
Zombieland.
And I like that, dude. I like
that's one of the things that stuck out to me the most too. That was really enjoyable.
Very comic-y, like still sometimes.
Yeah, I like that, dude. So, it like you said, it's kind of grindhouse, but it also takes from other genres to make it good, and that's what I think. What makes a good movie is you can make it relatable to a vast amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this movie does that really well.
Yeah, the right amount of comedy, the right amount of gore, the right amount of.
I think this is fluidity. This is a film where like in the back of your head that it could have been better, but it's a guilty pleasure that you're still gonna throw on and be like, this is pretty solid, but know, like I know, like you can understand why somebody wouldn't be their thing,
Yeah. I like it, and also I understood why you chose it as well, is because when I was watching it, I did get a semi Scream vibe from it as well too, at some points.
Yeah.
Especially with the Max character.
Robbie,
I felt like Max was really he took a page right out of Scream. How he was kind of like that psycho guy who he even says he's like, I'm not here for the ritual. I'm just here to fucking kill. You know,
that he didn't even make a wish. He was just like, I just want to kill people.
Yeah, dude. So he kind of reminded me of like some psychopath. You know,
He was probably my favorite character out of all of them.
Yeah.
Just because how like I love the fact that the whole time he's chasing Cole, he's kind of like trying to pep him up too, like a coach, like like I'm gonna kill you, but like you better move your ass, like come on, let's go. Like
he said, I'm not gonna let you die with egg on your face.
Yeah.
Coley
kind of coaches him through bullies a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of like stick up for yourself, man.
Did you just kill Sonya?
Yeah. I didn't see that coming.
You're a badass, Cole. I have to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like if he didn't have to kill him and he was just, you know, his neighbor, so that he could have been like a cool big brother or something.
Yeah. And like when he's like, you want a head start? And he's like, you're the quarterback, man. He's like, life's not fair.
Life's not fair, bro.
Not fair.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, James. He's like my favorite character. I mean, I fucking love Bee's character. He's amazing. Wes, she is very sexy in this movie. But she's a given. Besides, you know, I think Max is really cool. But then you got the comic relief of what's King Bach, King Batcher. Yeah, King Batch.
2 out of 3 people got HIV, man.
Do the math. I got AIDS.
Katie's gone, man.
That guy got his fame from like Twitter
Vine.
and Vine and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think that's really cool. It shows you what you can do.
And now he's on the next like branch of The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a real series for him.
That's dope, dude.
Fucking see what you can do.
That's the news. I didn't know they were gonna do like a new Walking Dead.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be more centered around like the youth of that time, I guess.
I'm so done with Walking Dead.
Sorry to talk about The Walking Dead.
No, it's okay.
It was kind of, I knew I was going off topic, but it was just because of goddamn King Batch always ruining shit.
The show stealers.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the movie.
I was gonna say, what was your guys's? I mean, going into the movie, this was my first time watching it. It was a first time watch, but it really surprised me when spoiler, the first kill and the sacrifice Samuel.
Yeah.
That shit. I cringed. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, it really. Yeah, I did not expect that.
That scene when she stabs, the first time I watched it, like a year ago or whenever I first watched it, when she stabs him in the head and then one of the knives isn't all the way in, and then she pushes it down and it goes down further, I was like, oh my god, I felt like I could feel it.
I'm actually watching that part right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is right, dude?
and then Batch is trying to tap on it. He's like, I think mine's empty.
Yeah, he just explodes like a faucet.
Yeah.
And Max pulls it out a little bit or something.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, I knew what type of horror film this was going to be.
Right.
I like that type of horror film, you know? And I think Wesley, that's why he chose it, because it's funny, but it's still like horror, self-aware. It has that really gore to it, but it's kind of morbid. You know what I'm saying?
It reminded me of like the Evil Dead type of gore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't she from Evil Dead?
No. Oh yeah.
Who?
No, that's somebody else.
Is it somebody else?
I think so.
Which?
From the remake, right?
Yeah. Who's in the remake, Wes?
Jane Levy from Don't Breathe, but
Yeah, that's right.
they're not the same person.
Oh, okay.
But she's